All righty, and
Yep.
looks like we're on,
Looks like we are
Deval.
on like
Hoist
Ariston
and on and
and
on.
on.
Sorry,
Oh, yeah, one in the back as well.
oh shit, I always
See, we
forget
said
to.
we spend half an hour talking about
You
rubbish,
just forget about all the
and then we
shit,
forget
like
about the realness, the lights, the
the
camera, the
lighting.
action, mm.
Exactly, folks. So listen,
The mise en scène.
mise en scène. Listen, so
Mm.
folks, we're back again for another weekly dose of the Flixters. Deval and I are going to be chatting movies, movie news, giving you a hidden. Actually, no, we're not doing hidden gem this week, are we?
Possibly. I've got one. If we got
Maybe
time, yeah.
if you've got time, we'll. But we're going to be throwing you an anniversary corner movie. So stick around for
Yep.
that. But obviously, yeah. So we've had a kind of it's been a bit of a bit weird week, Deval, because
Bit of
Game of
a.
Thrones. Game of Thrones was off the screen.
Yep.
You was out gallivanting around the world,
Gallivanting
and
in Morocco. Yep.
exactly, yep. So you had a good time over there, and I didn't really. The only thing I saw was kind of like Andor, Barbarian,
Hmm.
and Peripheral. That was it.
Oh, you saw that? Okay, so you're going to talk about it a bit later, yeah? Okay.
Well, I've seen one episode, so but
Okay.
it warrants. It's enough for me to kind of speak about it, and we can kind of get into that whole thing. But listen, folks,
Mm.
remember, hit us up on Instagram, hit us up on Twitter. Watch our YouTube channel. This episode
Yeah.
will actually be on YouTube, and yeah, let's go for it, Deval. What we doing
Let's do
first?
it. First, we're going to go for a few shout outs. So, first shout out goes to our very own Zakharov. Zakharov, actually, I spoke with him during the week on Instagram. He
Yeah,
likes to chat on Instagram, and he was chatting about. Okay, so we know he loves his movies.
yep,
We know he loves Game of Thrones. He's been watching House of the Dragon.
yep,
He can't wait for Wakanda Forever.
yep. Next
So
week,
he's going to see that next week
this week.
or
Yeah,
this week by the time you listen to this.
yeah.
I told him to go and watch Triangle of Sadness, which he said he's going to do. He's going to do it and then let us know what he thought of it. So there's an update from Zakharov. And again, we'll get him on the show soon enough.
We
I don't need
will. We got
to
to
say though.
try and rope him in, man, at some point.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, so Zakharov, big shout out to you. And next, our very own, and yes, she is our very own Ciel Noir 3.
Ooh,
Yeah, she actually done a live during the week. I got to jump on just a little bit as I was in Morocco, so the reception wasn't that great. Jumped on
yep.
for a little bit, just a few seconds, and she gave us a massive shout out. So I want to say
Brilliant.
a big thank you to Ciel Noir 3. Go check out her page, like I always tell you to do. Really great page, really great interactions. She's always bouncing back when you say hi to her. So yeah, go say hi to her,
Yeah, she's
Ciel
brilliant.
Noir 3 on Instagram. Last shout out goes to the 5Fs not Instagram, the 5Fs Telegram channel.
Mm,
You're thinking, what are the 5Fs? What are the 5Fs that everyone needs in life to
drop them.
balance things out? What do you reckon? You know, for men, what the 3Fs are, but I'm saying what the 5Fs are. So it is fun, it is fitness, it
Yeah,
is
massive.
family, it
Mm.
is finance, and it is
Faith.
forgetting what the fifth one is.
Football.
It's
Faith.
not football. Faith, that's the one. Perfect, yes. So the pillars, they like like in Game of Thrones, you got the seven
The seven, yeah.
this
This is what it is. We
the
got the
seven gods,
five.
and they say the seven pillars of society. This is the five pillars of society. The 5Fs Telegram channel. So go check them out. And yeah,
Yeah, they're really
those are
good.
today's shout outs. Yeah, there we go.
Excellent. Brilliant. Thanks for that. And yeah, let's get into kind of movie news, Devour. So listen,
Yeah.
while you were away, some news dropped,
Okay.
which you might find interesting. But listen, here's the thing. Let's rewind a bit. Deval,
Yeah.
where are we on The Witcher? Because listen, first season, which came
Mm-hmm.
out, I want to say like 2019 or something, didn't it?
Yep. The first, yeah, it was 2019 Christmas, I believe. Yeah.
Yeah, mate, I haven't seen the second or the third season.
I haven't seen the third. No, I've watched. Hold on, the second season. Has the third season come out? No, it hasn't. There's 2 seasons so far.
Oh, is it only 2 seasons? Right.
Yeah, there's
Okay.
2 seasons, I think. Yeah, I've not seen the second. I've seen one episode of the second season, and that's it. So I've
So
got a lot
that
of work to do.
means, okay, right. So, all right. So that kind of answers a few things, but check this out. So, Henry Cavill, obviously my mate,
Yep.
he just turned up in Black Adam just recently.
Yep.
He was Geralt of Rivia, and
Hmm.
he actually played a huge part in getting the character onto our TV screens. He obviously played the game, read the books, and everything. And he kind of really, really pushed for the whole kind of thing to be made.
Yeah.
So season 1, season 2, he's actually going to be season 3. But check this out: from season 4, Devaldo,
Hmm.
he just announced on his Instagram that he is leaving The Witcher.
What?
Yes,
What?
he's leaving The Witcher. And so, starting from season 4, Henry Cavill will no longer be playing Geralt of Rivia, and instead
What?
have a guess who they've got. They've already cast it.
Oh, who's going to be taking over? Who can take
Um,
over?
yes, so think of kind of like I wouldn't. All right, listen, look, he's not a massive, he's not a huge Hollywood movie star, but his brother is. His
Eddie
brother,
Eddie Murphy.
his brother hails from, well, both of them do, but okay, I'm going to kind of drop in little hints. His brother started off making a horror movie.
Started off making a Damon Wayans,
No, um,
Alec Baldwin,
he is blonde haired.
blonde haired. Michael Douglas. No, I don't know.
He's from
I
Australia.
Australia. Luke Hemsworth, Chris Hemsworth,
Well, yeah, you're right there. He's one of the
ah,
Hemsworth. It's Liam
Liam
Hemsworth
Hemsworth.
is going to be now Geralt of Rivia. So,
Mm,
so, um, so the news, it was announced on October the 29th. So not too long ago, Henry Cavill, he put something up on his thing, and he basically came out and said, "Listen, it's a character that he dearly loves."
yeah.
But here's the thing, Devaldo. Obviously, we know that he's going to be in a new Superman movie, or he's going to come back in Black Adam, or something like that. But also behind the scenes, apparently, he rumors have it that he was kind of pushing for more uh, of keeping the character as close to the original book as
Mm.
possible. But Netflix had other ideas. So some
Oh,
people are
okay.
saying that he clashed with the writers and with the showrunners.
Do you reckon, or he just wanted some get out of jail card so he can go and do
But he's doing,
Superman?
yeah, exactly. But he's doing a third season, so he's committed to a third season. So from season number 4, it's going to be Is it, yeah,
Uh,
Liam, or yeah, it's Liam Hemsworth.
Yeah.
So I mean, what do you
Mm.
reckon? What
They're
he loved it,
different.
and he
I
came
mean,
out so much to say that he loves it and he wants to do this film, that
yeah.
show, and everything.
I mean, they're very different actors, aren't they? Frame,
Mm.
everything. So I'm not saying the Hemsworth
L-
guy can't do a good job, but he's going to take a bit of time getting used to. But yeah, good on him. At least they both got work.
mm,
They both got work. Let's see what happens. I've not really seen Liam Hemsworth in much, to be honest, or Luke Hemsworth, whatever Hemsworth it is.
yeah.
So I guess, yeah, I guess it's a bit of a blank canvas, which could be a good thing.
So how do you reckon they will kind of deal with the new thing? Will they just totally ignore the fact that it's a new face, or is it going to be like, I
Like
don't know, he dies
Fresh
and through
Prince.
magic?
Remember in Fresh Prince when they said to Aunt Viv, "You look different." Remember, they're like, "You look different." She's like, "No."
Like in Hulk, remember, like in She-Hulk, when they addressed
Yeah,
the whole Hulk thing, like
yeah,
I was literally a different character.
yeah.
So yeah, so that's kind of like big news. If you're fans of The Witcher, you might be interested to know that. But listen, let's move on. Ana de Armas, Deval. Look, come on. Yeah, exactly. I mean, Ana de Armas. She
Hmm.
hails from Cuba. She's American Cuban, I think.
Cuba,
And what did we
Cubana.
see her in recently? We saw her in
We
something
saw her. She
recently.
was in Bond. No, was she in Bond? No, she wasn't
Blonde
in Bond. Yeah, she was in Bond. She was in
and blonde,
Bond and Blonde. Look at that, Bond and Blonde.
which I haven't seen, by the way.
Yeah, me too. Got to see that actually. I heard it's good. So yeah, she's
Mm,
been in both. Yeah, but she's really good. Uh,
yeah.
what's that one with Ryan Gosling, the futuristic one, Blade Runner 2049.
Yes.
She was in that as well. But yeah, she is a really, she's a rising star. I reckon
Yeah.
you're going to see a lot more of her, and she's actually just started out filming her own spin-off of the John Wick franchise, and her
Gosh.
spin-off is going to be called Ballerina.
Mm.
Who knows if she might be? You remember Red Sparrow that had Jennifer
Yeah, Jonathan
Lawrence
Lawrence.
and Red Sparrow, and also even looking at the MCUs, and Natalia
Red
Romanoff, she kind of trained as a sort of ballerina,
ballerina.
sort of, they do that to get them to get into society and be able to
Mm.
manipulate people and stuff. And maybe this might be, I don't know if it's a code word ballerina or if she is a ballerina. Either way, we're going to find out real soon because it starts filming, which means we're going to get this on screen hopefully next year, late next year.
Oh, it's gonna be
So
great.
this should be decent. Should be decent.
Yeah. Do you remember I remember the kind of the fight scene from James Bond where
Yeah.
they team up and they start kicking ass, and there's this bit
Yeah.
where she does this roundhouse kick, or
Mm.
she did this thing where she did a kick, and I was like, yeah, man, she's going to be good.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
makes me wonder though, Deval, what was it about Ben Affleck that they didn't work?
Well, he still wanted some Lopez. He wanted some Lopez.
He wanted Jenny from the
Artemas wasn't
block.
exactly. Anna from Cuba wasn't enough.
No, no, exactly, exactly. All right. So listen, yeah, we're
Also,
gonna cut it.
remember
Yeah, sorry, go on.
the tattoo on him says Jennifer. So he thought, oh, let me just go and find
Uh,
another Jennifer because
Jennifer.
otherwise he'll have to rub out that tattoo. So he likes a Jennifer, doesn't
Exactly.
he? Likes a
Oh
Jen.
man.
Sorry.
And he likes Latinas, obviously.
Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah,
I mean,
exactly.
who
All right.
doesn't?
So let's. I know. Well, you tell me. But I'm telling you. All right. Listen. Look, we're gonna kind of cut it there a bit short
Yep.
on movie news this week because we've got other things that we want to speak about, and one of those is new on streaming.
Yeah.
So we're nearing the end of Andor. Which Devour have you? Did you manage to watch this week's
Nope.
episode?
I'm two
All right.
episodes
Okay.
behind.
All
I'm
right.
so bad.
No, 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 because obviously you've kind of been out the country and stuff. But listen, all I'm gonna just say is just yeah, man. I think we've got this Wednesday is going to be the finale.
Oh, okay. I'll be up to date by then for sure.
Uh, you're gonna love them. You because it's kind of the show's gone in a whole different direction,
Okay. 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 Okay.
and it's more of a kind of like turned into like a prison drama,
Is it?
but
Ah.
edge of your seat prison drama. This not
Okay.
Lincoln Burrows. We're not talking Lincoln Burrows here.
Oh my
We're talking
gosh.
like you
Shawshank
know, sure,
or
yeah, kind of bit like yeah. But you
Shawshank
know
in
what?
space.
Also, what it reminds me of is what was there was the Korean this that big Korean show
Oh, Squid Game.
Squid Game. It basically you're going to get definite Squid Game vibes out of it as well
Okay.
because they're in prison and then there's
Mm.
a voice that speaks, and when it speaks in this kind of robotic language that
Mm.
they must obey. So there's a lot like that. So all I'm going to say is think of Prison Break and
Mm.
prison drama and stuff like that, and you'll be up there. So definitely watch that. Now the other thing that you put on there, Devaldo,
Yeah.
is what was it? Is The Devil's Hour. Now we kind of
Yes.
spoke
Devil's
about
Hour.
this, didn't we?
Yeah. This is on Amazon, so this is
Mm.
a decent. This is a decent show. I've watched 4 episodes. There's six
Okay, yeah.
altogether. Each episode is nearly an hour. It's a British show. It's about she's like a social worker stroke safeguarding officer who works to help kids that are not being looked after and stuff like that. But she's also coming from a tricky situation at home. So she's got a
Mm.
partner who's not very present.
Right.
Her son is about was he about 9 years old, something like that. He's going through some issues as well. He's very void is the only word I can use to describe him.
Mm.
He's void of
Gosh.
every emotion. He just hardly speaks.
Yeah.
She'll wake up at night. He's there looking at her like that. Like
Oh
he
my
knows
god.
things that he shouldn't know. He's
Oh
just
gosh.
a really weird. Like he's almost possessed, but he's not. It's really weird.
Right.
So there's that going on, and then on the other side of things, the police are hunting someone who's like killing people, but they're all linked in some kind of way. And then Peter Cabaldi, he's also in it. He's already, well, I'm not going to spoil it too much because I think it's worth
He's a
watching.
baddie.
But
No, is he? He's not the baddie in this, is he?
do you know, he seems like a baddie, but I'm getting the
Right.
feeling that he might not be. I don't know,
Right. Okay.
but he kind of he's doing and saying some weird stuff that he shouldn't know, or he kind of can. He's got some kind of privileges.
Mm.
I don't want to give away without. I want to give you something without giving it away, but he just knows that he knows things he's got no right in knowing, and so does a
Right. Right.
boy.
Right.
They're
He's been.
somehow
They've been
linked.
given gifts.
Exactly, man. Gifts, mad gifts, and they're all trying to link it and find out what's going on. The police, it's mad. It's a decent show. I thought the
Okay.
Devil's Hour was going to be to do with, possession and stuff like that, but it's not. It's something else,
Mm.
I think.
Bit more something
And she
intriguing.
keeps waking up. The Devil's Hour is 3:33 a.m. and
Oh
she keeps waking up at
gosh.
that time, and things happen. It's weird, but it's a good show. It's a really
So
good Amazon show.
there could be a little bit of connection there that we'll find out at the end.
Yeah.
Amazon Prime, how much use are you getting out of Amazon Prime, like the videos
Well,
and TV
well, just
shows?
with Peripheral, I still ain't finished Lord of the Rings.
Neither have I.
I dip into it now and again, to be honest. That's all.
Yeah. Well, listen, look, I started dipping into this one. Yeah, like you just
Mm.
said, the Peripheral, and this one. So I kind of saw the trailer and it kind of looked great. This one on IMDb, it's got 8.3.
What?
It's got 8.3 on IMDb, Devaldo, and the reviews have been, yeah, generally like really, really good. So 8.3
Okay.
on IMDb, 73% on Rotten Tomato. It stars Chloe Grace Moretz, Jack
Mm.
Reynor, a host of British actors. It was actually filmed in London. It's
Okay.
filmed in North Carolina, and it is so. Just kind of give you kind of some context. Think of obviously Westworld. Think
Mm.
of The Matrix. Think
Mm.
of Tron. Think of Ready Player One,
Yeah.
and you've got a real kind of mix of the future sci-fi. What is reality? Are we real? AI. It's got all of those things in there. And listen, look, there's one scene which I think you're going to appreciate. Do you remember the scene from The Matrix in the first one where Agent Smith is interviewing Keanu Reeves's
Yeah.
character, and then at the background there's two people. They're cleaning the windows,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. Yeah.
There's a scene which they've kind of done their take on that in this, and when it comes, I was like, oh my gosh, this is the Matrix. So you know what,
That's
right?
it.
It's kind of a world building, going into a computer game, becoming a different person. Is it real? Is it not real in the real world? Grace Moretz, she plays Flynn. Her and her brother, they've been given access to this technology, and they've got a job to do, and if they do the job within the kind of simulation game, then they get a lot of money.
Mm.
They've got a sick mother, they need the money, and they're out in North Carolina, but the simulation is taking place in London, England. And man, it's got some really, really kind of, you know obviously good special effects. It
Mm.
does remind you of kind of like I thought I was watching a movie. Like honestly, I really
Oh,
thought
okay.
it was that kind of like immersive, where I thought, oh my god, no, this is a TV show, and it's got like 1 hour episodes and stuff. So I've only seen the
Mm.
first episode, but it's looking decent, Deval. I think this one
Okay.
is worth a watch if you can
Okay.
fit it in.
Okay.
Um, so yeah, it's on at the moment. It's up to 4 episodes because they're
Okay.
releasing them weekly
Okay.
on Amazon. So go check
I'll
it
jump
out.
into that. I'll jump into that. Okay. All
Yeah,
right. All right.
give it a look. All right, and on new on trailers, Devour. Now listen, I haven't seen this because I'm kind of avoiding it.
How are you? Okay.
Yeah, but not because I'm like, oh my gosh, it's Avatar.
Mm.
I don't know if I'm really interested in it. But listen, this is Avatar: Way of the Water.
Mm. You are going to
So
watch it, though, aren't you?
oh, 100%, I'm going to
Okay.
watch
Okay.
it,
Okay. Okay.
but I just don't know if I'm excited.
You're not in a
But yeah,
rush. I
go
guess
on.
that
I'm not in a rush.
probably is the best place to be. You know that. Do you know why? Because then when you do watch it, you're gonna have so much fun.
Yeah, yeah,
Expectations are just like low. You're just not really rushing to it. You're
yeah.
gonna have a good time rather than people that rush to it and expect a lot.
And this is coming from a person who really liked the first one. I liked the first one. I
Mm,
remember watching it in 3D.
mm. This one will have to be watched in 3D as well. This one's coming
Yeah,
out just before Christmas, so just like you said, trailer 2 has now come out. It's got a bit more, imagery. I was watching actually a side by side video that looked at the 2009 graphics and the current graphics of the characters
graphics.
and the
Yeah.
and Pandorum or
Oh,
Pandora.
Panda. Oh, yeah.
And yeah, the current graphics are so much more improved. So I think we're going to
Is
get a
it?
really, yeah, we're going to get a really great. I think it's important. It's important, really important. Before you watch the new one, watch the old one more time.
Yes. I
If you
got to.
can,
I
watch it
got
back to
to.
back. If you can, back to back, even better. But make sure you do, because that's how you're going to appreciate it a lot more. But this one,
Yeah.
yeah, like I said, go watch the trailer. It's out now, and it's only about a minute and a half. It just gives you a little bit more of a taste. Nothing too crazy. I
Yeah.
think this is set 10 years after the events of the last Avatar, which is pretty
Right.
much, I guess, yeah, I guess it's probably 10 years after they
Because
probably
when
started
did the first
filming
one
it,
come out?
2009. So
Wow.
this one's probably been on the shelf since 2019. So it probably is 10 years after.
Oh my gosh. And we're gonna get another one after this, aren't we? Or another two
We
or
get
something.
another four, mate, or was it three? Three
Oh
or
my
four?
gosh.
Yeah, three or
So
four of
it's
them.
one every couple of years or something, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah. I think it's one every year. I think, or something like that.
Oh, right. So he's
But
really going for it.
because he made them all at once, in it, so he got £1 billion budget to make them all at once, and he's at it. He's at it. So
So they're really really expecting this one to
yeah,
flip
yeah,
and blow
yeah,
Marvel
yeah,
out the
exactly.
park.
Yeah.
All right, okay, yeah. So that's Avatar: Way of the Water. Go check it out. And on anniversary corner, we're
Mm,
going back to 2002, 20. Oh my god, 20 years ago. Cabin
mm,
Fever, Devaldo. Again, this one I really really I remember I liked this one because it was nasty. It was like
mm.
this is Eli Roth, wasn't it?
This was yes, it
Tell me
was. Yeah,
this is
yeah, yeah,
Eli
yeah, yeah.
Roth.
It
Yeah,
was. Yeah, yeah,
yeah, yeah. I remember this man. Cabin
yeah.
Fever.
Mm. So this one here, yes, you're right. 2002. So this one is oh my gosh, this was a movie about some sort of young
Uh,
people
yeah,
going out to enjoy the weekend. They go out to a cabin. Someone's got access to a cabin. They go there and they want to have fun, chill out, drink, bang each other, listen to music,
as you do.
and somehow some sort of flesh-eating
Oh my
virus
gosh.
has, someone's contracted it, and it just causes havoc. When I say flesh-eating virus, it is disgusting how this
Mm,
takes place and really manifests within someone's body. And once you got it, you sort of just yeah, just you turn into a sludge. Like you just start to bleed, and it's nasty. And I think it was in the water. I think the virus was in
mm.
the water in this film, and the whole town gets it. Obviously, they get it in a cabin, and I think only one person doesn't get it because this person only drank beer the whole time they were
Oh
away.
yes, that was it.
Yeah, so it's a bit of a funny incident, but yeah, I just thought, it's a bit of a similar cabiny kind of house
From Evil Dead.
situation. Yeah, exactly. Similar sort of house situation. Also like Barbarian as well, which we're going to talk about in a bit.
Yep.
The poster for Cabin Fever is very reminiscent to what you say. The poster for Barbarian is reminiscent
Mm.
to Cabin Fever. Both posters are
Yep.
red.
Yep.
They're just red posters, which tells you it's something, something dangerous. So yeah, that's why we chose Cabin Fever. Go check it out. Go check out Cabin Fever 2002, 20 years.
Yeah,
Eli
and I
Roth.
just whilst you were doing that, I just kind of typed in just to remind myself the meaning of cabin fever. Cabin fever is the
Mm,
distressing, claustrophobic,
mhm.
irritability, or restlessness experience when a person or group is stuck at an isolated location.
And also, didn't they used to have it on boats as well, or not? Like
Yes,
on ships, like long voyages.
ships.
because these
longer,
ships, they
yeah.
have cabins, don't they, or
And
something?
people will go mad, and then that's when people would
Mm,
start killing and eating people,
yeah.
eating the intestines, and you name it, that all happened. Eli Roth, apparently, the idea for cabin fever
Mm,
came about when he spent time in Iceland, and he got skin
yes.
infection from something.
Yes. There you go. Yeah. There you go. Nice, nice
Mm,
hidden gem there. Nice, nice nuggets.
exactly. All right, let's get into. So this is great because that cabin fever, it does kind of lead nicely into
Mm,
Barbarian, and I kind of saw no, I don't think I actually even saw the trailer, but what I did read, that I
mm,
read one kind of a bit of a review, and it was like, go watch
mm,
Barbarian because
mm,
it's a low budget,
mm,
um kind of like interesting take on those the horror tropes that we've kind of obviously used to. And listen, look, this year I've been kind of quite pleasantly surprised. I've seen Smile, which I really liked.
yeah.
I've seen Barbarian, which I like, and I saw Grimcutty, which I
Did you like? Oh, I still ain't seen that.
no, which I didn't know, which isn't
Oh,
like
okay.
anything. And then obviously Terrifier, part two.
Mm,
So it's kind of two for two, like, two not so good ones, and then two, like,
mm.
decent ones. And so Barbarian, Devaldo, it doesn't really star. Who's the main leader? I haven't really seen her in anything.
Oh yeah, she was in. What was she in again? She was in. Do you know who she reminds me of? She reminds me of a mix between Hailey Berry and yeah, she seems like a young Hailey Berry actually, and also she
And
reminds me a little bit of Rosario
Rosario
Dawson.
Dawson.
Yeah, exactly. So Georgina Campbell is the star
Yeah,
in this, and she's been in Black Mirror. She was in an episode
right.
called Amy in Black Mirror. She was in an episode of Soulmates, Scorpion, another TV show. She's been in a few things. You probably now you've seen her in this, you probably will see her in
In
some
other
other
things.
things. But yeah, I think I remember her in Black Mirror, and I actually think she is. You know what? This is gonna surprise you. Like it's gonna surprise most people, but I actually think she is. Yes, she is. I thought so. I remember now.
What?
I remember her in Black Mirror. I remember her. She's from Kent in England. She's English.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
Oh,
I
is
remember now. I
it?
remember her. She's English. Yeah, she's English.
Wow.
Yeah,
Check that out. Look, I tell you what, look, Brits, we do great American
yeah,
accents.
yeah.
Right. Right,
Her accent,
y'all?
accent. Do you know what? Her accent was so, it was so convincing. When I heard her, I could hear a New York accent, and she sounded
Yes.
almost like New York. But I could be wrong. But anyway, yeah. So that's her.
Yeah,
Yes, also
exactly.
directed by a guy called what's his name? His name is Zach Krieger.
Mm.
So yes, he wrote and directed this. This is an A24 movie, is it not?
No, it's 20th Century Studios, but check this out.
Okay.
It's being classed as a sleeper hit at the box office. It's grossed
Mm,
over 43 million worldwide against a
mm.
budget of 4.5 million. So clearly they're doing something right with these kind of horror movies. And we mentioned Smile, and we've mentioned kind of like, these other things. But it had its premiere in July, and it's released kind of around the world in September, October time, and obviously we managed to go watch this. But listen, look, it turned up. Who else turned up in this was Bill Skarsgård,
Yep.
and I'm not sure. I don't know about you, Deval, but whenever I see him, the
Mm,
guy has got this weird eyes,
mhm,
and I'm always expecting something sinister, obviously because of the whole it thing. But don't you think that his eyes, they kind of reveal some
mm.
sort of ulterior motive? Like,
Yes.
when I saw him in the movie, I was just like, oh shit, this isn't going to end well. But
Mm,
listen, let me just kind of like, let's give a brief kind of setup. Here's the thing, right? So the Georgina Campbell, who Deval just kind of mentioned, she's taken a trip to Detroit. She's got a job interview, and she's hired an Airbnb, and it's pissing down. It's like raining a lot, and she can't get into the property. And she's trying to make a phone call, and then she kind of, she's knocking on the door and everything. And then all of a sudden the light turns on. There's someone already in the Airbnb. Now, Deval, if that was you, if you had booked an
mm,
Airbnb
mhm.
and someone was already there, I mean, what would you spend the night in that house?
No, I'll drive back to where I came from. I'm gone. I'm gone. The movie wouldn't last
Because
long.
because you don't know like anything about this person who could be in
Mm,
your, and I guess, yeah, obviously it could be a harmless little mix up, but anyway, so she, in whatever frame of mind, she gets convinced to stay in the same house as Bill Skarsgård's character. And as the movie was going on, I was like, shit, he's gonna be like a rapist, he's gonna be like a
mm,
murderer, he's just like completely like, there's something weird about this guy. And the first kind of 45 minutes of the movie, Devaldo, I'm not joking, they built up so much tension. I was actually squirming in my seat.
mm.
Honestly, man, I was actually squirming in my seat because I was like, why are you doing that for? Just go, just get out of there. Like, there's so many instances where I was like, no, 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 no. And she was doing the exact opposite. She was actually going into the room where there was no light. She was actually
Yeah,
going in deeper and deeper into kind of like, the rabbit hole. And I was like, oh my God. To the point, Deval, where there was a bit, remember in there where she's like, there's just a darkened room, no light. She looks at it, she looks at it, she looks at it, and then she goes, nope.
yep, exactly, exactly.
And that is what you would do, right? That is what you would do. But yeah, go on. I'll leave it. I'll leave the rest to you. Go on. You explain it.
No, it's just I think Barbarian. Even the title alone, it's a quite a weird title,
Weird title.
Barbarian. But then the street is also but the street that the house is on is called Barber Town or Barber something Barb. Anyway, I think
Yeah.
there's some sort of link there. But yeah, it's just an interesting movie. Like you say, the main character, she I think she's single woman looking for a job in Detroit. It's the Detroit that's actually quite a rundown
Oh
city or
man.
town, and that's actually very true to today.
Yeah.
Detroit is, back in the day, Detroit was a prosperous town. There's even a flashback that goes back to a time when it was prosperous, and I
Mm.
think that the neighbor was saying how the town's gone to shit, so he's going to sell his house, and now it's all run down. There's lots of derelict houses and homeless people around, and that's where she's staying. Very very dangerous place. She's
Yeah.
going for a job interview, and you're right about the Skarsgård character. He looks like the villain. Like he could be the villain. And the
Yeah.
whole time you're watching them interact, you're thinking, okay, when's he going to do something bad? There's even a
Yeah.
moment where she's in bed sleeping, she wakes up, her door's open, and she thinks he
Mm.
did it. And we think he did it. It looks
Yeah.
like he did it because it's a bit weird, but he didn't do it. And it's just the kind of the film lures you into a false expectation of who
Yeah.
you feel the villain should be, but the villain is someone totally different,
Completely
uh,
different.
totally different. But yeah, it's just interesting how she does fall into the tropes of a of a horror movie person who makes the wrong decisions, but
Yeah.
also has to make those decisions to make the film progress.
Yeah.
And the film has it's almost like it has two underbellies. You got the nice looking house, which is almost a representation of the old school Detroit. And then below the house, the derelict, decaying environment is
Yeah.
almost like how Detroit is now. And
Uh-huh.
below that, you have the people within that environment who've also decayed along with it
Yeah.
for years and years. And they
Great
represent
analogy.
lots of decay, lots of hurt. People that have been abused and people that have
Mm.
nowhere to go, and they're going to lash out and hurt people that enter their environment, but they
Yeah.
also want those people that enter their environment, they also want to be a part of them as well. Which although I'm not going to spoil it too much, but some of the people under the sort of lower levels,
Yep.
they want people from the higher levels to stay.
Yes.
And Justin Long's character, we've not really mentioned yet, Justin Long's character, who was in Drag Me to Hell
Yes.
20
He's done
in
horror films
2000
before, yeah.
yeah, I think 2005 or something like that, 2008. He was
Sam
in
Raimi,
this, and
yeah.
he's a really he reminds me of Burke from Aliens. He's a
Yes.
selfish character. He
Oh
means
man.
well, but he's selfish. He's a bit arrogant.
Yeah.
I think he's an actor or something, and he's already got a Me Too case going on.
Yeah.
He's
Where
trying to
he's
get out.
Yeah, like there's a rape, there's an allegation of rape going
Yeah,
on. See, this is the thing. So the first 45 minutes of the movie, it took me on this journey, and I was like,
yeah,
oh my gosh, I was squirming. And then all of a sudden, around about 45 minute, but it just takes a complete U-turn, and we
yeah,
get introduced to this guy,
yeah,
this Justin Long's character. He's a film producer. He loses his like TV show. He's
yeah,
being accused of rape, and this guy from LA is kind of brought into kind of Detroit for whatever reason. So he's connected to the house
yeah.
where this young girl is staying. And then there was kind of like a time jump, to the 80s or whenever it was. And then there was this kind of serial killer. He's
Mm,
involved in the whole thing. Man, you know what? On the whole, I was like, was
deep.
really surprised about where it was taking me.
Yeah, you got to
Strong
see the
female lead.
you got to see the film twice. Actually, I think it's worth seeing twice because
Yeah,
the serial killer from the 80s or whenever it was. Do you know what he was doing with them? He was he was finding women. He was making them have. He was raping them, making them have
yeah,
babies, and then he would have babies with those
with the
babies. You see,
babies.
and then whatever was created from that is just a grotesque
It's living down
manifestation.
there.
Exactly, just it's just nasty, and that is what you get to see manifest, and and try to seek out love and
Yeah,
affection and some sort of companionship that all goes wrong. But this movie, Barbarian, it is really interesting, just
it
how
is.
it goes from one thing to the next, and the acting's really good as well. Justin Long's character,
Mm.
even though he's a dickhead,
He actually
he
really he was funny. I
acts.
was
Yeah,
laughing.
yeah,
I was
exactly.
laughing.
And then
I was,
you get to see that the Me Too situation,
mm,
it's something that he probably did do, because one of his friends said, "Oh, just tell me what happened," and he said, "Oh, yeah, yeah, well, she didn't say no," or he just sort of gave an excuse around it, because the whole time you're
yeah.
thinking maybe he didn't do it. Like you're
Maybe he
thinking,
didn't do
"Oh,
it.
yeah," but
Yeah.
then you realize he did do something, because the way he acts, or the way he looks after himself selfishly. Later on in the movie, you realize what kind of character he is.
Mm.
He's a nasty piece of work.
He's obnoxious. He's obnoxious. He's like woman hating. Like
Mm,
I remember him using the word like he was using the word bitch a lot. So
mm,
he kind of has this thing where maybe he doesn't have
yeah,
respect for women. And
yeah,
in that scene where he was talking to his mate, he was
mm,
like, he goes, I can be a pretty forceful guy. Like I can get what I want. So then it just kind of makes you think that yeah,
yeah,
this guy probably did do all
yeah,
that.
yeah, exactly.
Um, but yeah, man, you know what? I was actually quite surprised. I thought I
Mm,
wasn't. I was like, where is
mm,
this director taking me on this
yeah,
journey? And
yeah.
then he's kind of putting all these things together, and you know, it reminded me a bit of The Descent. Do you remember The Descent?
Oh, yeah, 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 yeah. Good film, 2005. Yeah, good film.
Because with the whole with the down below the
Mm,
caves and
yeah,
everything, and like this the
mm,
houses is just like where the hell,
mm,
like they were just going down and down and down. And there was a funny bit in the movie where he's trying to sell the house, this Justin
mm,
Long, its character, because he's got to pay for this kind of court case that's going to be
yeah,
coming, and then he starts measuring the
yeah.
house. Ah, it
Extra
was
square
so funny.
footage, extra
Yeah,
square footage, extra money.
it's decent. It's probably my movie of the week. And but
Okay.
although I didn't see obviously Triangle Sadness, so I don't know. But I think it's definitely worth a watch. This one.
Triangle. Okay, I guess this takes us to Triangle of Sadness. I mean,
Mm,
this could easily be a hidden gem if it wasn't
mm,
released, widely, and a lot of people know about this film. It's got a 7.9 on IMDb. I call that an 8,
yeah.
between friends. It's a 2.5 hour movie. It's written and directed. So both movies we're talking about are written and directed by the same person, which means they've got a lot
Right.
of creative control if they're being given that, that leverage and that responsibility. Swedish director, Ruben Östlund. He's directed obviously Triangle of Sadness. He's directed The Square, Tourist. A lot of his, I think. Well, I'm not going to just come out and say it, but maybe a lot of what he likes to portray is societal issues, and
Mm,
maybe a lot of satire, mix of comedy, mix of realism, and just things that happen that no one really puts the magnifying glass on. Okay, so the Triangle of Sadness, or Triangle of Sadness, is a movie about fashion, celebrity, status, and yeah, I'll say those are the things that the film really reflects upon. How people, are in society, where where the hierarchy of existence. If you're high up, if you're low down, and what kind of money you've got, influence and power. This movie sort of follows a fashion model who is played by Harris Dixon, sorry Dickinson, and you've got another fashion model who's played by Charlie Dean. Woody Harrelson's in the movie as well. He plays the yacht captain.
Hmm.
So most of the film happens on this yacht, and all these sort of rich, well-to-do people are on this yacht having a holiday. Going out on the yachts, living their life and stuff like that. And oh, where do I start with this film? I'm kind of going round in circles because
No,
this
mate,
film,
do
this
it.
film also is done in chapters as well. But I'm going to
Right.
talk. I'm not going to do. I'm not going to. It's a 2.5 hour film. I'm going to round up the film, and so, like I just said, it's about a film about high society people on a yacht, living out their lives. Being excessive, and basically when they're on the yacht, the yacht staff can't say no to them.
Ah, okay.
So everything they want, they have to get because they pay money. So the yacht staff will do everything to try and please them, and that's how things really unwind and things go a bit mad.
Oh,
It's a bit
yeah.
mad, yeah. But there are some conversations in this movie that are just really hard hitting.
Really?
One of the first conversations you get is between uh well, first one of the first things you see is the male model, and he's going for an audition, and they ask him to do certain walks. They say walk like this or look like that, and they said, okay, so look like you work for, I don't know, like Dior, like someone one of those really high brands like Dior,
Yeah.
and they're like, okay, H&M, Dior, H&M. It's like if the higher the brand, the more expensive it is, the more,
Like, yeah, no
yeah,
emotion.
exactly. The cheaper brands are smiley,
Hmm.
and they say to them, you've got to channel your triangle of sadness. Do you know what that is?
Oh, no, but tell
Triangle of
me.
sadness is this. See this bit here? In between your eyes and your
Yes.
nose. That's where you do this.
Oh,
That's what models do. They go,
oh,
the triangle of
right.
sadness. That's what you got to channel.
Sadness.
That's where it comes from, yeah. The triangle of sadness. So that's the exactly. So, but so what Beckham does, and now his face is stuck that way. Yeah,
Exactly.
exactly. So yeah, that's the triangle of sadness. So the models have to they got to sell what rich looks like. So that scene
Mm,
is really interesting, really good scene. Second interesting scene that I saw from in this movie, the models, the male model and his girlfriend were on a date, and I think previously she had said to him she's gonna take him out and she's gonna treat him. I don't know why, but
yeah.
she's gonna treat him for dinner. So they're going out to dinner. They just finished eating. She's on her phone quite a lot. You can see it's kind of pissing them off. She's on her phone quite
Right.
a lot, and then the waiter brings the bill. So the waiter comes and brings the bill, puts the bill down. She sees it go down. She carries on her phone. And then he's like looking at her like, because she said she's going to pay for it. And then he's like, uh, I think the waiter comes in. He's like, what did he say? Did he say, the bill's here? She's like, okay. And then the waiter's like,
Uh-uh.
oh, how shall I? He's like, oh, how do you want to do this? Do you want to split it? Or she's like, huh? Like, what do you mean split it? And then the waiter goes away, and then they're talking. He's like, "Oh, like what? Didn't you see the bill come?" She's like, "No, I didn't." He said, "What? You didn't see the bill come?" She said, "No, I didn't. You saw the bill come. I saw you. You looked at it, and you just presumed I was going to pay for it, didn't you?" And she was like, "Well,
Uh-uh.
yeah. Why did you presume I was going to?" They're going to a long conversation about paying the bill.
Yeah, yeah,
It's about
yeah.
20 minutes, man.
Is
It is
it?
so good. The
Yes.
way, like, because this film also goes into gender roles as well, in
Yeah.
how in today's society things are, and just how certain people expect certain
Like
things,
certain
and
things.
it's
Yep.
just it's interesting. Obviously, everyone has different gender roles, and people live their lives different ways. But in this situation, there was an agreement, and she went against it because she just expected him to do something
Him
that
to
she'd
pay,
already
yeah, him to pay
agreed.
for it. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, and it's just it was interesting how he holds her to account like I've never seen before, and it
Is
pisses her
it?
off so much.
Yes.
It pisses her off so much, but at the end of it, he gets her respect for it in a
Okay.
long-winded way. He gets her respect for it in a kind of roundabout way. But
And did she pay for it in the end?
did she pay for it in the end?
Oh
No, he had to
shit.
pay for it because her card declined. And then she
Oh,
didn't have enough cash. Yeah, he made her pay, and her card declined. Then she didn't have enough cash. Then he just paid for it, and then that pissed her off even more. Which meant she was never really looking to pay
never
for it,
really gonna
even
look
though
to
she
pay for
said
it.
she was
Yeah.
gonna exactly. So it just is. And this film is. There's a few conversations like this in the movie
I love
where
it.
you get taken out of the movie and just conversations about things happen.
Yeah.
And I mean, in the trailer, you'll see some comical moments. There are some comical moments. It is really good. Woody Harrelson is mad in this. He's like a
Is
drunk
he?
captain. He's a drunk captain of a ship. It's mad. The
Wow.
staff
Yeah,
are
he's good. I
mad.
like Woody
Like
Harrelson. He's good.
some
He's
of the
funny.
characters in the movie are mad. They're just wacky characters, and the way this film ends.
Like on a in an orgy or something on the yacht.
I ain't saying shit. I'm not going to say it. I'm going to stop the review right there because, like I say, this
Oh,
film is 2.5 hours. I can't review it too much without giving you things that you're going to appreciate.
yeah.
But this film, I
So
had a
it's
funny
not a slow.
feeling.
Is it a slow? So it's not a slow burner. Then there's things in it that that keep the pace moving forward,
Yes,
or is
yeah,
it?
yeah. There's the
Yeah.
things in it that keep it moving. But it is a long film, so be
Mm,
patient. But
yeah.
yeah, but it's a decent film, man. Oh, these the conversations and just the things that
Nah, it
happen are
sounds
really.
good. Sounds like my
And
type of film.
some scenes are drawn out, but for a reason. And some
Yeah.
of the actors they're acting like they're not actors. Like some of the cabin crew, the crew, they kind of act like they're not actors, but they are. It's mad. It's mad. It's a good film. It's a really good
Okay.
film. It's a really
Okay.
good. It's an 8.5. It's touching a 9. It's a really good film.
Okay. I'm watching it. I just
Really good
wish
film.
I just wish a movie like that would have a release over here, man. It's just they're
Yeah,
late.
I know. I know. You
It's late
probably get it
here,
Christmas
man.
time, but honestly, it's a
Well,
really
there you
good
go.
film, man.
There you go. I'll have to find alternative means.
Yeah, yeah. Really good film.
All right. Okay. So folks, look, there you have it. That is the
Yep.
end of the episode. We really, really hope that you enjoyed the show. Go check out those movies and let us know what you think. If you've seen Triangle of Sadness and you agree with the social commentary, then please do let us know
Mm,
on Instagram. And obviously, Barbarian, if does it work as a horror movie or
yeah,
as a social commentary
yeah, exactly. Next
as
week,
well?
big film we got next week. We got Wakanda Forever, Black Panther
Yep.
2. So we're going to have a big part of the show focusing on that, as well as your
Defo.
regular news and bits and bobs. We'll try and get Mr. Wakanda himself in the show, Emmanuel, if
Yep.
he's available. We'll do a really good show for you next week. So make sure you watch Wakanda Forever once or twice if you can before you listen to the podcast. Yeah,
Yeah, because we are gonna be
yeah,
revealing shit.
yeah. We are.
Yeah, exactly. We're gonna be spoiling shit. All right. Thank you so much.
All right.
Don't forget to follow us on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. Just pop in the Flixters podcast.